everyone who is just starting to jump on and join us. Going to give it just a few moments here. Let anyone else jump on. All right, just a couple more moments. See if we get a couple more people who jump on. And those already here, thanks for joining us today. Kick this off in a couple of seconds. All right, we're going to go and get this started. Thanks again, everyone, for joining us today. My name is Brett Kozlowski. I'm a senior technical trainer over at Snap One, and I'll be kind of hosting you, monitoring the chat, Q&A, and stuff. I am joined today with Rob Harris from NICE. He's representing Panamax. Anytime during this presentation, I'm going to be monitoring the Q&A. If you got a question, feel free to throw it in there, and we'd be happy to answer all the questions by the end of this. Without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Rob.
All right. Thanks, Brett. Well, as Brett said, my name is Rob Harris. Good to see everybody today, and thank you so much for joining us. A little back history on me. I've actually been with the power brands that are owned by NICE, Furman for 22 years and Panamax for 20 years. And now those brands are owned by an awesome manufacturer out of Italy, and their name is NICE. And it's niceforyou.com if you ever had a chance to go check it out and see what it's all about. And today, yeah, we're going to go over the benefits of power management. And I'm going to share a bunch of knowledge with you, based on my 22 years of experience, as well as, let you know about what Panamax/NICE does as far as our power products and our power management systems. And today, we're going to go through we'll call it Step Up to Pro. This is a great promo that's going on right now. So I suggest to go in to all your fine distributors and go get a chance to soak some stuff up and see what kind of deals are going on out there. And these products that we'll talk about are underneath that Step Up to Pro promo right now. So when we talk about power management and the benefits of power management, we like to go into three categories here. First category is performance. You want optimum performance out of the equipment that you're installing, whether it be a flat panel or a network system or subwoofer, whatever it may be. You want the optimum performance out of that equipment, and that's one thing that the Panamax/NICE products will provide. The second part of power management is being able to protect everything, all the sensitive electronics and anything that can be damaged via any sort of power anomalies, to take away the life expectancy and shorten its lifespan, or things that can actually take it out catastrophically and end its life right there. We have great ways and great technologies under the hood that provide excellent protection. And then we have the control aspect, to be able to remotely reboot devices from anywhere with an internet connection, as well as look at what's going on with any sort of devices that may be problematic from a distance. We're going to put all that under one thing. When you add in your performance, protection, and control, you're going to create a reliable system that's not only are you going to be happy with because you're not getting calls from your customers, but your customers are going to be happy with as well because they don't have to call you. It's a win-win situation. So we're going to start off with our Bluebolt platform. Why Bluebolt? Bluebolt is the original and industry standard for monitoring, programming, and controlling compatible NICE, Panamax, and Furman power management devices from anywhere in the world. So we created this cloud-based system. We were the first ones to come into market, and we continue to build and make it even a hardier system than from the inception that it was created at many years ago. What does Bluebolt do for you? Well, it's going to help you reduce service calls, being able to do remote power cycling to reboot a problematic device is huge. Be able to just go either on your phone or on your computer and go, okay, they have no internet. Go ahead and cycle that modem, cycle the power on that modem, and get it back up and running, and then they regain their connectivity. And that goes for any devices that can lock up, of course. Now, you can also maximize your health network and maintain an optimum performance with scheduled commands to power cycle devices. Give them a little quick cat nap here and there. If you do that once a week with problematic things that can lock up, by giving them a quick cat nap, it's going to refresh them and make them work at optimum performance. So if you do that once a week, you're going to continue to have optimum performance throughout those devices. You can also self-heal network stuff by automatically power cycling devices when they quit talking and keep things running smoothly. Save you time and money as you can ping IP addresses, and if a certain IP address fails, you can have it maybe power cycle that particular device that stopped communicating, or maybe it's part of a chain of command and you want to set it up to stagger on power correctly. If one device fails, say it's a modem and a router, you can have it to where it shuts down the modem and router all together at once, and then have that modem start up, have enough time for that to come up and regain consciousness to the internet, and then go ahead and put your router on and deliver all that great signal back out through your network. That's a great way to just self-heal things, and there's multiple applications for that. This is going to empower you integrators out there to be able to monitor the power's integrity. You can look at your clients' locations, their device statuses, take a look at event logs of things that may have happened, and also give individual permissions to not only the client, but you can also create your own teams and have your team of installers go out and share the same kind of stuff within Bluebolt. And Bluebolt is free. Once you buy a unit, it is yours to use for free. And with that, that allows you to create a great service contract with your customer where you can monitor their stuff. And then that gives you great RMR, or money in your pocket, that you didn't even realize that you were going to have there. So great way to set up a little bit of recurring monthly revenue. Bluebolt has been awarded multiple times as one of the best RMR support programs out there. So keep that in mind. And when all your stuff works great, you get happy clients and return business and referrals. So that's a lot about what Bluebolt is about. Let's take a look at the UI itself here. So the user interface is really clean, easy to use, and it's a great way to be able to view your clients' locations and their individual devices. We also have a great way of creating favorites and creates a watch list. So if you have some high priority locations and devices that you want quicker access to, you can save them as a favorite, and it'll give you a spot to go ahead and just click on that, and it'll bring those up really quick for you without having to dig through your locations and whatnot. Also have a super search feature. So say you were looking at the location, maybe the name of a device, even down to the outlet level. The first three characters of any of whatever you type in, it will bring up whatever is named in those first three characters. And then you can narrow it down from there if you wish, as you type further, depending on how you set up your names for things. And here's that advanced admin section I was talking about. You can add or remove usage rights, and it's just a couple clicks away. Build groups within your team for servicing your clients, and give your clients permissions to monitor and control their own systems if you like as well. Set up those schedule commands, give that stuff a cat nap, or maybe you have something where you don't want it on constantly. You want to shut it down maybe from midnight and turn it back on at 6 a.m. so it's not bleeding out that good vampire power that ends up costing you more money, plus creating longevity for your equipment as well if it's not constantly on. Take a look at what's going on at the energy usage, at the location level and device level at that point as well. It's a great way to just see, maybe you have some anomalies where for some reason there's extra current draw that was happening for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and come to find out that you had a device on there that was failing. It's a good way to have a heads up for that, and you can also send out alerts for that kind of fun stuff. All new cloud built on AWS. We did this a while back. It's super reliable. Also within my Bluebolt, there's a huge resource section where it has frequently asked questions, support contact, all that stuff's located in the support tabs under Bluebolt as well. And it's not just about the web browser. You absolutely can use one of our Android or iOS apps and it'll allow you can actually install a device from there and use some of our new devices have QR codes, so you don't even have to type anything in. You just scan the QR code and it populates as you add devices. You can edit outlet names and locking configuration stuff. You can view alerts for power events and manage alert subscription that's in there as well. And don't forget, you can go to the Google Play or App Store and the Apple area and get your apps. A lot of app in that. So I imagine some people would be wanting to ask about using Bluebolt enabled devices with Oversee. Keep in mind, just about everything we do works in there. There's a few discontinued items that we no longer sell. Nobody's going to have anyway that don't pair with Oversee, but everything that's current does pair with Oversee, and it's limited. Basically, you can turn on and off and cycle outlets and name the device, but that's about it. Beyond that, we are working with our partners at Snap One to get the products brought in natively. They actually have products on hand, and they're working with their staff to create that. So that should be pretty soon here, and you'll see a full native environment with the nice Panamax devices in Oversee as well. So why Panamax? Let me tell you, Panamax has been around since 1975. We've been doing this for over 45 years. Panamax is the #1 power management for the category of consumer electronics, and we created this category when others tried to move in. We held a stronghold, and we've been #1 for many years, and that's because we build products that do what they say they do, and they perform very well, and allows your equipment to perform very well as well. We have the best-in-class protection, our tried and true protector disconnect, and our patented AVM automatic voltage monitoring is going to reduce service calls, and it's going to maximize the longevity of your connected equipment. We were the first to introduce signal line protection too, the backdoor surge potential. So it's not just about protecting your AC. You also want to protect any lines coming in from the outside, whether that's network cable with RJ45 jacks, or you've got coax coming in, any of that stuff. You want to make sure that you have protection from the outside coming in. Have Panamax be the first line of defense for signal and power. And if you do that, you're going to be able to protect your client's equipment within a bubble of protection, and you're going to not be hit with crazy catastrophic events that can happen. We're the first to introduce the lifetime connected equipment protection policy. And this is still, in my opinion, the best warranty in the industry. It's up to $5 million. If something happened and everything was protected correctly, and for some reason the failure was within the Panamax, then you could do a connected equipment claim and get covered for the prorated value for whatever that equipment would be. If you protect yourself correctly, though, you'll never have to use it. That's why we can put up such a thing. So protect yourself good, and you'll be golden. Build confidence in your clients. They've probably heard the name Panamax, and moving forward, we're actually making these products branded over to Nice as well. And Nice is a big name throughout Europe. They're based out of Italy. So this is a reliable foundation for strong product names that are out there. Create really the technologies that are under the hood is what's going to give you that reliable foundation. So you're going to see why here in a minute. I'm going to share those great technologies with you. And our parent company is proud to hold over 270 patents, and this keeps going up. We're probably up to about 300 now. It just shows that we're really striving for innovation. And as we move forward with new products, and I'm going to share one really cool new product with you later today that you may have not seen yet out on the market. And you'll see where we're headed. We're really headed towards the future with all this power stuff. So as I mentioned, those categories, starting out with performance, you want your equipment to perform an optimum performance so you get the best quality, visual and audible portion of things, plus the reliability and stability of the whole network. Now, when we talk about noise filtration, what we're talking about is getting rid of the noise on the line that convolutes your audio and video signals. Even in our standard noise filtration, we do an excellent job of getting rid of the noise in the video signal and some of the audio signal as well. When you have noise in there, it can equate to something like, if you look at this picture here, this ghosting on the left, I've seen where EMI and RFI has actually created a really bad resolution with 4K and 8K pictures, especially as the screens start getting larger. With this though, just this filtration, just our standard filtration, we were able to adapt that out and get it to where it got rid of the ghosting and the pixelation kind of stuff. It actually made the blacks blacker, the color spectrum, because the whites were whiter, everything ended up being a lot brighter and more richer in color as well. And that's just with our standard noise filtration. Now, if you jump over to our next level linear filtration, it even does a better job at reducing the noise, starting from subwoofer frequencies all the way through the full audio bandwidth out through high def video. And by doing that, you also can open up a lot of masking that can happen. If you think of masking on a simple level is just put a mask over your mouth like we did through COVID, and you have this wonderful masking that makes you sound like you're trying to order a drive-through, I should say. And when you release that mask by adding filtration, now you opened up those noises that were masking things, and now you get the full audio spectrum as well as the video spectrum. One way I could equate it where it opened my eyes originally was we did this A-B comparison and we put on a Muddy Waters tune. This Muddy Waters tune, you could hear he was basically hitting his foot against the floor, and you could hear some timing, but it was just like a thud, and it sounded good. But then we applied the filtration, and that turned into real snappy, and you can hear basically that he had a leather sole on, and that was slapping some wood on the floor, and that actually ended up becoming a much clearer sound, which broadened the feelings and emotion out of the audio quality within itself. It really made for an excellent difference in the overall audio and video quality. And that's when you have something that can attenuate all those frequencies and really get rid of the noise that's there. It really opens up things and makes you see things clearer and hear things much better. Now, the other portion of things that you can combat as well is cross-contamination that can happen between power supplies. Now, if you took and plugged in an amplifier and turned that amplifier on, and then you went ahead and plugged in say a phone charger right next to it into another outlet next to it, and those are shared on the same bus, you'll hear typically some coming through. And what that is that's the noise from that DC power supply coupling into the amplifier and creating a noise that wasn't there, convoluting your audio basically, and creating a noise floor that shouldn't exist. So with the Panamax/Nice products that we have isolated banks. So you can actually isolate power supplies from one another. So if you did run across where you had a noise that was going on, and you figured out what power supply it was by pulling it out and the noise went away, you could then segregate that onto a separate bank and have that segregate the noise from one another and stop that cross-contamination. basically getting away from not being so kosher with everything. You want kosher at that point. You want everything to be nice and clean and crisp on themselves. So the next portion of power management, protection. Panamax's protector disconnect, this is a line of defense from daily transients. So if you think every time you see a light flicker, you know, you hear the refrigerator come on and then a light flickers. That's stuff that's getting to your AV equipment and your networking equipment. And every time that happens, it's basically like taking a little chunk out of the processing chip that's in there. It's creating dithers in there. And what's happening is it's taking away the life expectancy. And that's where you start adding up with errors and lockups, and you can think of the blue screen of death maybe on a computer, those sorts of things. Those are power related a lot of times, and it also ends up taking away the longevity of the equipment. So it takes away its lifespan, and so it's not going to last you as long. So why not have something on there that's going to create longevity? And those little small spikes and surges are something that takes away longevity. But if you have a catastrophic event, there's a lot of stuff out there. When it sacrifices itself, it allows power to pass afterwards. With protector disconnect, it's a fused MOV design, and that section, once it goes over, and it's really tough to take it out. It's 3,000 amp, 6,000 volt kind of hit that would have to take it out. But once it's taken out, it's jumped in front of the bullet, and it's off to the hospital or the morgue afterwards. Your equipment is not going to be off to the hospital or the morgue. Basically, just strap in something new, and you're back up and running in no time. And like I said, it takes a lot to take them out. These devices last. I mean, I have some products in here, and I live in. I'm about 30 minutes east of Nashville, so I see a lot of lightning throughout the whole year. And I mean, I have products that are over 10 years old that are still just chugging away and doing their thing. Now, the other thing that we added in here for protection, because you will see this happen too, on brownouts and overvoltages, we added something called AVM, automatic voltage monitoring. And what that's all about is if something is longer than a nanosecond, the protector disconnect will dissipate really fast and it will hold on. But as opposed to allowing it to hold on and basically burn itself out, we use an automatic voltage monitoring to open a relay to take away the incoming power to make sure that your equipment doesn't basically burn up. And it does it within a 60th of a second. So as soon as the rise of the sine wave happens and it goes over about 145, we disconnect immediately. And what that does is that makes sure that not only is your equipment safe, but it's also protected the Panamax in the process as well. That's why they're so hard to take out in the first place. Now, with these two things in there, they're working together to give you the best protection possible on the market at that point in time. And these guys, of course, that creates longevity for your equipment as well, because it's never seeing all these crazy energies that can happen. That design, like I mentioned, lowest cutoff voltage at the rise of the sine wave. It doesn't allow for it to cut off at the peak. There's a lot of other ones that will allow the peak to happen. And unfortunately, you've had a let through voltage of 200 or more at that point. With us, we want cut off at around 145 on the high side and about 90 on the low side. And low voltage can harm you as well. If you have a brownout condition, that voltage drops below that 120 where it's supposed to be, and it gets down below that 90 volt level. A lot of the devices that are inside of your equipment use DC regulators. Those DC regulators, they want to see a constant 120 cent to a small step down transformer that makes the AC smaller, or lower voltage, I should say. And then that feeds off the DC rectifier, which feeds the DC power components that are in there. And if it sees only 90 volts, but it's meant to create 5 volts DC at that 90 volts, it's still trying to give you 5 volts as much as it can, but it starts heating up those components. So brownout or low voltages can damage your equipment as well. So it's very important to be able to cut off on the high and the low to create a longevity for your equipment and make sure that they don't cook in the process. All right. Is there any questions that come up? Doesn't look like it, right?
Nope.
Cool. Everybody's with me. Sweet. Hope I
Yep.
didn't put you to sleep yet. Hang in there, kids. So it should be great information for you. Plus, it's going to give you a great understanding what goes under the hood of the Nice and Panamax products. Now, with that, we're going to go through the actual products so you can see where these technologies live. We're going to start out with the C3 IP. This is the newer product. It's been out for a little over a year. And this is a 3-outlet, great conditioner slash power monitor that you can put great behind a panel, or you can also use this in an area maybe where you just need a few devices. It works great with, say, a modem, a router, and a switch. If you have just a small application, it'll work great in that instance. And it's got the great protection, that protector disconnect. It's got that AVM, automatic voltage monitoring. And I didn't mention, but that voltage when it goes out of range, it's going to kick off. Once it comes back into range, it'll automatically kick back on, letting you know that the power is safe and that your equipment is protected and things are good to go. This has the standard filtration, so it does a really good job on the video end, and it does pretty decent on the audio. And then it also does some power sequencing stuff too. So if you want to sequence on a system, it'll allow you to sequence those 3 outlets, and you can set the timing between when those outlets come on. It's got that QR code that I mentioned. It's a small, compact design. It's also got local control and monitoring via its web GUI, and it's got a 3-year warranty on it. PT1512 IP. This is our lovely rear side rack mount power distribution power manager that we have in place. It's 15 amps. It's got 12 outlets that are individually controlled. 3-year space for transformers, and there's 6 outlets that are turned 90 degrees angles as well, so you can try to move and shape and get your stuff in there as well as you can. And why would you want to buy this? Well, this mounts multiple ways, and it's not going to absorb vital rack space. You can have this on the rear rack rails, and it allows you to have your distribution off the back, or I should say your power management off the back with your conditioning and protection and control. Plenty of room for DC power supplies, wall warts, like I mentioned. No other strip on the market gives you this level of performance and protection and control all in one package and at the price point that it's at. And it's got that Panamax quality, trusted, tried and true. This has all the stuff that we mentioned before. It's got the standard filtration. It's got protector disconnect, AVM, does the full monitoring with Bluebolt. You can also tie any of these devices to control systems and utilize them with control systems as well, of course.
Hey, Rob had a question come in that was about that particular product. The question was, are there any plans for expansion on the IP strips for taller racks? Maybe something like 18 outlets?
Oh, well, you are talking to the product manager for for Nice, so
you're getting some ideas.
Yes, please share away of stuff that you think will help you. You're talking to the right guy right now. I don't, we have stuff on the roadmap, but I can't tell you what it is. But the more stuff you get, more information you give me, the more I can create what you want. So I love it. Matter of fact, I'm writing that down right now. Sweet. Thank you for that, by the way. And let's see, let's move forward. So we've got the M4315 Pro and M4320 Pro. They look exactly the same except for the 20 amp unit. The M4320 is a 20 amp unit, 15 amp unit. The M4320 Pro will have 20 amp receptacles on the back versus the standard Edison 15 amp receptacles that are on the back, the M4315 Pro. It's got level 4 filtration. It's got front panel controls. You can actually program these 2 buttons to do different things via right through Bluebolt, or you can go into the web GUI inside of it and program these buttons. Maybe you want to set it up to where there's a fail safe, and you just want the customer to go in and press this reboot 1. You can have that set up to maybe turn off outlets 1 and 2, and then stagger on 1 and 2 to have them go ahead and revitalize their their internet communication, and then distribute the communication out. So it's a great way to stagger on things, and you can do any sequence of any of them and program those two buttons to do that as well. They come in 15 and 20 amp models, like I mentioned. 8 outlets in the back, one on the front. It's just that's just a conveniency outlet. Does go through the filtration and protection, but it's not controllable. Keep that in mind. Other than the power switch on the front, which is the breaker, and then it's got 4 banks on the back. There's 3 lift banks, and then there's 1 high current bank. And that high current bank, oops, let's see here. High current bank would be designed for amplification. So if you've ever had an amplifier manufacturer tell you don't plug into a power conditioner because our stuff won't work right, well, what it does is it takes away some of the fidelity of the amplifier because it can't push the cones on the speakers properly because it kind of current compresses the amplifier slightly. Now, if you have high powered stuff that they say don't do that, within the Panamax, those high current outlets are fully protected and filtered and all the good stuff, but they have less impedance going on there. They're basically virtually impedance free. It's like plugging right into the outlet, but they're protected and filtered. And it'll allow you to plug in those high fidelity amplifiers and get the best performance out of those amplifiers as well. Also, I forgot to mention on the front, the display shows you the voltage. And then if you press the button, it's got a dimmer knob that's right next to the display. That also changes over to current. So you can see what's going on with the current draw right at the unit itself as well. No other rack mount on the market gives you this level of performance, protection, and control. And it's got the best in line signal protection. It's got coax and network protection right on the back of the unit as well. Trusted stuff, step up to Pro, step up to the M43, 15, and 20 Pro. So the M4000 Pro, this is an excellent conditioner, but it's going to take away, strip back a little bit of the control aspect. And it brings down the filtration a little bit. We went from level 4 filtration to level 3. It's got front panel controls, so you can actually control the banks individually, but you can't set up like those reboot 1 and 2 buttons to do individual things as you wish. But you still have control over the banks that are on the back. It's 15 amps, and you have 3 controllable banks on the back that are paired out across 8 outlets. There's that control on the front, like I mentioned. So nothing at this price point, there's nothing out there that compares with this. This also has best in line signal protection on the back. And then, yeah, step up to those, step up to the full power management, get away from those standalone units, get into that M4000 Pro. That's the entry-level rack spot that we have for you guys. There's also our UPS model, the MB1500. This brings over our protection topology from the Panamax, or excuse me, from the Furman side of things. A lot of the Furman products that were created, they're created to go anywhere in the world and make sure that your equipment doesn't go down on you. It's used a lot throughout the pro audio video industry and the touring industry, as well as the recording industry. And this stuff has been tried and true on tour with everybody you could think of, from Def Leppard to Journey to Charlie Puth to Lady Gaga to, oh my gosh, just trying to think of the gal that is the juggernaut. Oh my gosh, was a country artist. I mean, she's the ultimate artist that's out now. Any ideas, Brett, who I'm talking about? Probably not.
You wouldn't mean like Taylor Swift?
Taylor Swift, thank you. Yes, the Furman models of this are out with Taylor Swift on her whole system. I don't know why I drew a blank on her name. She just dropped an album. Woohoo! Yes, I might be a slight Swiftie. I'm not totally Swift, but I'm a fan because she's create an amazing juggernaut for herself. But anyway, stuff tried and true. It's not going to go down on you. Non-sacrificial surge protection is like a Kevlar vest that can deflect the bullets, stay up and running, and laugh at whatever's shooting at it. And just basically you set it and forget it, like Ron Popeil would say before. This guy also does voltage regulation, so it's going to regulate the voltage coming into your equipment as well. If the power goes out, it's going to switch right to battery really fast. faster than anybody could blink an eye, of course, and it's not gonna your equipment's not gonna care. It's going to switch over and not interrupt any of your equipment. It's been tested on pretty much the most finicky power supplies that are out there, and never had an issue. It's got 8 outlets, and they're based on 4 banks. So basically, it's 2 outlets per bank. So you got control over 4 banks. And then it's Bluebolt compatible. It comes with an RS-232 card. And basically, you would swap that card out for one of our new CV3 cards, which is our new architecture that we built our new cards and our new Bluebolt platform on. And it's tried and true. The latest processes are out there. It's going to be future proof. It's super awesome stuff. Now, these UPSs are not just meant for IT, but they also include the lift filtration and the extreme voltage shutdown, that AVM circuit, basically automatic voltage monitoring. So this is not only meant for IT, but this is meant for your AV equipment. Other UPSs out there don't have this kind of level of filtration that's built into these guys. So this is going to give you clear audio and video signal going to everything, and it's going to make your IT equipment work wonderfully as well. No other UPS in the market gives you this level of performance, protection, and control, and does this voltage regulation. It's a combined package that's just very incredible. That's why folks like Taylor Swift's production rely on it as well. And once again, Panamax quality with Furman quality. So this is like a double conundrum here. It's double conundrum is probably not the right thing to say, but it's excellent. I mean, it's got the best of both worlds, we'll say. Just add that CV3 card in there, and boom, you're ready to go. Now we'll bring up. We created this really cool product because of this. This is one of the issues that drives people nuts constantly. Bulky DC power supplies. Just about everything that has a processor now, they ran with separate power supplies out there. It helps them when they do certification for power to make things cheaper. Unfortunately, what it does is it gives you massive DC unreliable power supplies that are really hard to get plugged in, and they take up a lot of space, and they make the rack look nasty in the process. I mean, as you keep adding in things, your modem, your router, your Roku, everything else, as you're piping it in, you've got extenders, all that stuff creates a big mess, and you usually end up with something that looks like this in the rack. And this is actually kind of clean compared to some racks I've seen. I've seen where there's multiple strips kind of stacked on each other, being plugged into the power management device. And the bummer about this is you don't even get to utilize all the outlets that are on the back here. So you're paying extra money for something that isn't allowing you to do its full thing. Now, there's other stuff on the market where you can power your DC power supplies, but it doesn't do anything to help you monitor and control everything. Thus, that's why we came out with what's called the DC12 IP. This is a really smart, space-saving rack-mounted power management and protection device that allows you to cut the cord, wire in directly, and now you've gotten rid of those bulky DC power supplies. You've really cleaned up the rack, and it gives you a way to monitor and control those devices as well. So features, it's a space-saving design, like I mentioned, and you can power up to 12 devices in one rack. Protects your connected equipment from power surges and dangerous voltage conditions. It filters out the AC before it creates the DC, and it gives you best performance on your equipment by doing so. It also provides remote power and energy management, reduces equipment issues, service calls. You can do those remote reboots. You can also, schedule commands. All the stuff you can do with Bluebolt, you can do with these guys here, by all means. Reduce excess energy consumption when you're not using things. Go ahead and shut them off. And I thought it was very important because you should see a close-up at the back of this guy. Hey, we got an Ethernet port. Woohoo! All right. Hey, can you reset the thing? Yes. You can actually reset the processor by just holding it down for 4 seconds. Or if you hold it down for 10 seconds or more, that's going to basically reset the entire unit. And maybe you want to just start from scratch. That's a way to start from scratch. Now, the reason why I brought up the back of this as well is if you look, there's these the 3 pins that are up top is a negative side, and then your +5 and your +12 volts that are here. Now that 12 volts A lot of stuff on the market, they may do 1 amp, 2 amp. Not us. We decided to build a very robust unit that can handle up to 5 amps of 12 volts DC coming out of each individual bank. On the 5 volts end, same thing. We maxed it out at 2.2 amps. And then if you're using the USB, same thing. 5 volts at 2.2 amps per bank. So excellent way to monitor and control your all your DC wall warts, get rid of those things that can fail, and have everything in one unit that's going to be able to provide excellent protection, filtration, and control. And this guy, it's actually set up for world use. So you can actually put it anywhere from Japan out through the UK, out through the US. So if you're doing jobs that maybe are overseas or something, that keep this in mind. This will work in all those environments because it can handle 100 to 240 volts. So why now? Ask your clients, what are you plugging into? What are you doing to protect and get the best out of this equipment you already have? Ask what else, hey, what else in your home system you expect to use with the new gear you're installing? Oh, we should probably look at those those loopholes, those weak points, and maybe get some power management on there and get to protecting and getting the best performance on those devices. Always ask if they've experienced some sort of power failure. Have you ever had a disruption? You ever have, blackout? Have you ever had a brownout? Have you ever had something where when the power came back on, all of a sudden your microwave doesn't work? Anything like that. Those are great ways to bring in ways to talk about, even if it's not the controlled power management we're talking about, but any power management from Panamax Nice at that point in time. Also, what are you plugging into your home networks? Working in entertaining, learning from home has never been more mission critical nowadays. Poorly designed technology infrastructures have never been more exposed to things that will disrupt your clients and not have them happy. Home networks and residential grids have never been more taxed because there's more people that work from home. Now those grids are now being more taxed where they were relieved before when everybody went to work in regular buildings. And also your TV screens are getting bigger, with more resolution, it's more susceptible to show you more video interference. Video streaming is never, is obviously more commonly used, and the, streaming devices are susceptible. And a lot of times they'll lock up and need to be rebooted as well. So those new smart TVs, they will be a point where you have to power it off and power it back on to get it back up and running. And panels are getting thinner, more complicated, and more susceptible to damage from electricity. As they make things smaller, unfortunately, they're more susceptible. So get something on the front end of that to not only be able to protect it, but to give it the best performance and to be able to control it and make life easier for a lot of people. So with you and your business, protect your profitability, eliminate those truck rolls, save your clients time and money. Two, by not forcing them to have to be at home when you do a service call, stuff like that, stuff that's going to have downtime that nobody wants, especially you as the installer, as the integrator. Protect your reputation, keep your clients happy by not having to make repeated service calls or any service calls other than updating equipment and getting the newest stuff that's out. Make sure you budget about 10% of your bid overall for power management. That'll give you a good headway. And then, of course, if you have that budgeted in that fashion and you come in a little light on that budget or right at budget, that makes your client feel well, of course, when they're expecting to spend a certain amount of money and you save them a little bit of money. Boy, does that excite people. And of course, happy clients with working systems will earn you their referrals and repeat business for life. And that's what we're all really about, is protecting our reputations. And that's what Panamax has done for almost 50 years now, as well as Furman, as well as the nice company in itself. Keep in mind, all the Panamax stuff that you saw today will slowly be changing. We're rebranding as we go. And those devices will eventually have the same model number, but they might be in a slightly different looking box, and it may say Nice as opposed to Panamax. Keep in mind, the excellent protection and filtration circuits that are tried and true are under the hood of those. but we are doing things to actually increase connectivity, making things talk faster and perform better as we move into NICE overall. NICE is an excellent manufacturer out of Italy, and they're really putting a lot of time and money in thinking of the customer as the end result for all of us. So great company, and we're going to move forward with some excellent things. So keep your eyes out as we come out with more really cool, innovative devices from NICE. And with that, I'm Rob Harris, and that is everything I have to share with you today. Hopefully, you guys got some great information out of that. You can still, if you want to look at these fine products, go to Panamax.com. Or you can go to niceforyou.com, and that'll let you know about the whole NICE company. And then, of course, our wonderful friends at Snap One that are taking care of you very well. Please visit them and get all your great products from them. And with that, I'm going to stop sharing here and see if anybody has any questions.
Awesome. Thanks, Rob. Great presentation. Only question that we have outstanding is someone is looking for your direct contact info, which
Oh, yeah. If you want to contact me directly, you could find it's rob.harris@niceforyou.com. That's my email address, just like it sounds. And please, yeah, shoot me an email, and I'd be glad to answer any questions if you guys want to talk about stuff.
great. Let's give it maybe a second. I think you were so thorough.
Nice. I try to do that. 22 years of things crammed in here that I've tried to write these presentations as to where they give everybody the information that they need, and they can really thrive off of that. There will be things as maybe you're building things that might come up. So yeah, I mean, if I can help, you guys just heard my email address, so let me know.
You mind repeating it one more time? Because
Not at all. Yeah,
yep,
rob.harris, and that's Harris at niceforyou.com.
excellent. And we did get one more come in. How do
Ah,
I
cool.
access Bluebolts?
So Bluebolt, go to mybluebolt.com. I guess I probably missed that in the beginning of it, but yeah, the website is mybluebolt.com. And see all that thoroughness, and I totally left out the whole URL for Bluebolt. That's where you'll see a lot of great things there. If you go to Panamax.com too, there's some great videos that go over everything in detail. There's these 4 videos that go over all of Bluebolt in full detail. Go to mybluebolt.com though. You can sign up for an account and jump in, and that'll allow you to bounce around a little bit. Without a product in there, it's kind of it'll give you some idea, but I definitely suggest to pick up, even if it's just the simplest product, just to give it a spin. That'll be a great way to really check it out altogether. But you should be able to see a lot of things just by signing up for an account.
Yeah, so one more question. I'm not sure if I understand it, but maybe you do. How to access through Google? And I'm wondering, Jeff, are you like Google Assist or something along those lines?
Yeah, there might be more to that question, I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering as well.
Um, so yeah, you should be able to use any web browser and go to the URL mybluebolt.com, and that will allow you to go there to sign up for an account. And then you would sign up for an account. It's going to shoot you an email and ask you to prove you're a human, of course. Verify you wanted the account, and then yeah, you'll have access to it. And that's another thing too. So if you want to give anybody you want to give access to my Bluebolt, maybe you have a client and you've created a location and you have products going in their location, you want them to be sent maybe alert emails and stuff like that. They'll need to go to mybluebolt.com, create an account, and then verify that account, and then give you just the email address for that account. And that will allow, once you have that email address, you can add them to those locations and those alerts. It looks like we got maybe a few more coming in.
Yep. Is Nice mainly an overseas product, or will it be here in the US? Oh, overseas product. Can you
Oh,
expand on that? Got it.
So Nice One in itself builds fantastic. There's a lot of brands that are underneath them. They build some fantastic motor controllers for shades and stuff like that. They also build security gates. Like if you try to get into a secure area, they have these large poles that pop up out of the ground and will stop trucks, super fast. There's some other stuff. A lot of their equipment, yeah, is there's a lot that works in all countries, and then they do have some stuff that is just Euro based for the most part. But that's why they wanted these wonderful brands is to bring their presence into the U.S. and Canada, into North America, basically. And so the Panamax brand stuff obviously will be obviously U.S. stuff, and as the change goes on, that will over to Nice, they'll still be U.S. products, of course. But yeah, there's some, the Furman brand does some stuff in your own. There'll be some expansion and stuff there we're going to have fun with for
Sure.
sure.
Excellent. I think we are all set with the questions. First of all, I want to thank Rob for the great presentation,
My
as well
pleasure.
as everyone for joining us today. We will be going and posting a recording up on our YouTube channel. So if you have someone who missed it or you want to watch it again, we'll definitely send that link out. Rob, you want to end us off?
Yeah, no, just very excited. It was cool to get out and do a presentation with everybody. Hopefully, you guys got some great stuff from us and the awesome people at Snap One. And in a minute here, I'm gonna take a little break with this beauty right here, play a couple of notes, and have some fun and rock on for the rest of the day. Woohoo! Thank you so much for your time, everybody. And yeah, keep you guys got my contact info, probably got Brad's contact info. Hit us up. We're here for you. That's how we roll.
Excellent. Thanks again, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.
Take care, everybody.